Hi, it's Bridget here again. Just in the hotel room in Perth in the CBD. I'm almost on my way to Bali, just having a couple of nights here before I head off to meet Michael. Just resting my knees and my hips and getting some sleep. It's notice I get really interrupted sleep on my sleeping mat in my tent. Because I'm a side sleeper, I guess it's kind of not so comfortable. I try and sleep on my back. It's just not my usual, and it's harder. So I sort of spend an hour or so, I think, on one side, then flip over and repeat that through the night. So often it's quite a broken sleep, and so I'm enjoying having a few good nights of sleep where I wake up and go, wow, I've been dreaming. It's been a deep sleep, so it's been refreshing. And I just wanted to share with you what I've been contemplating the last couple of days, because we had a night in, when we finished the trail, we had a night in Dwelling Up, and then we went to Mandurah on the coast and had, that's not how you say it here, I don't think that's how you pronounce it. We had a night there, Tony, Franca and I. And then we met Sue off the train. She is going to walk with Franca for a while I'm in Bali. And then I'll join Franca in bailing up, and we'll continue our hiking together then. So I have about 10 days in Bali with Michael, and doing yoga retreat, and then he's going to be doing some surfing, and I'll be doing maybe some snorkeling, hopefully. And what I've been contemplating is the rhythm of hiking and getting to camp, and the kilometres that we walk each day. And realising that, sometimes it takes me a while to kind of spend some time thinking about it, and then come to a realisation that I'm not enjoying so much the kind of focus on the destination, wanting to get to camp and then set up the tent and then relax. So that seems to have been, I think, our default pattern has been, right, we get up in the morning, we go, and we have quite short breaks on the way, and then have a longer break when we get to camp. And sometimes we get to camp at 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I mean, while that's great, if it's a picturesque campsite, that's lovely. We get to kind of, if we've got any energy left, not too tired, to sort of look around camp and collect some firewood for the fire, and rest and maybe write in a journal or whatever. That's nice too. That's an option, that's one choice we've been making. And I'm just kind of, some of the camps lately, the last 3 camps were a little less attractive to me. One was quite burnt, a lot of burn off around the campsite. And we're never quite sure what the camp's going to be like until you get there. So I am thinking about the possibility of having longer breaks during the day and having a really nice rest, maybe even a little sleep, a little nap at lunchtime, feed up time, get some blood flow venous return in the legs, and enjoy our surroundings if we can find a lovely spot, just in the sun or a nice comfortable log or something, and just hang out on the trail in nature before we get to camp. Because also getting to camp, there's this busyness that happens around, setting up a tent and unpacking your pack and getting your camp clothes and camp shoes on, and so there's a different energy around that, and sometimes it feels like there's this urgency to get that all done, and then we relax. And I'm curious, I guess, about how that could be different and how maybe that could be more enjoyable. And so yeah, realizing that that's something I want to explore and try. And that'll mean a conversation to be had with Franca, and it might mean that it doesn't meet, her needs. And so I guess what my needs around that would be maybe variety and maybe some peace and ease throughout the day, some rest, and maybe presence. And because sometimes I think we miss out on some opportunities to observe and listen to birds, and maybe even happen across, if we sit still for long enough on the trail, we might discover more wildlife. Whereas I guess I tell myself that it's less likely around camp because it's been habited more frequently by humans, and maybe there's a smell there, and I don't know, I mean, that may or may not be true. I'm just curious about that too, that if we make longer stops during the day, then maybe we might happen upon more echidnas or kangaroos or bird life. So the conversation would be making a request, or being curious with Franca about her needs and what would work for her, and then letting her know what would work for me and what my needs are around it. And so I guess my needs are for variety and adventure, discovery, and maybe even cooperation and collaboration around, and discussion around a different way of approaching our walk and structuring it. And I'm not, it's not a major thing. Like if Franca said, no, that doesn't meet my needs, I have a need for safety and structure and self-care, and there's a time, I really want to be at camp, and that I enjoy that rest at camp, and I don't want to hang around in the middle of the day, spending time, maybe it's too hot or not comfortable or whatever for her or something. So we'd have a conversation and listen to each other and hear each other out, and then maybe she'd be open to exploring that, a different way of approaching our day, and maybe not, and then maybe that means that I would be on my own, that she would move on and we'd walk alone for the second half of the day. And how would that be for me, and how would that be for her, and would that meet our needs? And so I'm curious about that, and looking forward to discussing that when I see Franca again.